So here's an interesting one. It's a blue-green Merfolk, which is pretty cool actually. Game 1 goes as you would expect. I have a fantastic hand. I wasn't sure what my opponent was on. I was really hoping this was the mirror match, but because I saw that Botanical Sanctum, but it was not. So play the Lantern, and yeah, see that on top, and I was like, oh well, maybe it's Infect. Yep, and that's when I realized what they're on. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. Play that, and I Brutality. And I don't go for the kill here because I know I got bridges. It's fine. I just got to make sure they can't counter my bridges. And I figure I'll hold these 2 bridges too, just in case. And I'll hold the Lantern if I need to use Academy of Ruins over and over, so I can sack 1 Lantern and use the other to keep a watch. Yeah, I can't discard anything. So. Yep. And that's going to be game. They have no answer in their deck. So we go to game 2. Game 2, I guess this is a sketchy keep. Can't remember if I'm mull. I think I keep it because it's turn 1 discard and I have Shredder and Ruins. And I got the Stirrings. So opponent has a pretty aggressive hand here. Those dudes are going to get big quick. So what I figure I'll go for is Ether Vial. And I figure out of Academy Ruins and Ensnaring Bridge and Collective Brutality, I should be able to get a bridge at some point real quick. So if I can just slow my opponent down, I know they need to talk like a land here. If I can stop the other Ether Vial, I'll slow them down a bit. Turns out they top deck a land. So that completely shuts down that. So go ahead and Stirrings, and I'll pay the extra. Looking for a bridge, do not see one, and get a Lantern. Ugh. Yeah. So taking some damage here. There's a Ceremonious Rejection. I need to get rid of it so that I can try to be okay here, to try to dig to a bridge. So my plan here is, I know my opponent has a Master of the Pearl Trident, and I can't do much about this Harbinger of Tides. So I figure, I'm looking at my hand and I'm like, okay, well, they play the Master, I'll -2/-2, 1 Lord, Abrupt Decay the other. I do it the wrong way the first time, but my opponent lets me fix the mistake, fortunately, because I didn't realize it's a +1/+1 counter for Metallic Mimic. Yeah. So I was thinking long and hard here about whether I should self-mill. And what I forget is my opponent does have a Harbinger of Tides. So what I'm doing here is I'm thinking, okay, if I'm -2/-2, gain 2 life, and discard mode, then I should be able to dump my hand. I put myself at 7, and opponent has 5 damage on board, puts me at 2. So actually 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4, 5. And then that gives me an extra turn to dig for bridge. But I forget that, you know, they have Harbinger of Tides. Also, I have to mill that Lord, or else I just die, because then they just top deck the Lord, play the Lord, and swing for 7, and I lose. So there goes that. Oh, not discard mode, just life gain in that. Decay. Yeah. So opponent lets me fix the mistake, but I'm still going to lose because of that. I'm like, ah, crap. I totally forgot about that dude. I let him draw it. So anyways, no bridge that game. So we go to game 3. Game 3, I brought in Grafdigger's Cage because they were playing green, and I figured maybe they were playing Collected Company. But otherwise, I love this hand because I already have 2 out of the 3 blue mana that I need. I have turn 1 discard, and I have 2 Whir to try to get that bridge. they have a ceremonious rejection that does not counter whir. So actually I go for the turn 1 lantern, and I figure I'll go for the Inquisition next. The reason I go for the turn 1 lantern, by the way, is because I want to get whir online as quickly as possible. So this actually counts as a mana rock for now. Now I can go for the Inquisition. It'll be just fine. Just in case, I go ahead and grab the Ceremonious Rejection, because I want to be able to play one of these so that I can, again, use it as a mana rock as well. I don't want my opponent to rejection my Shredder. And at this point, I know that I already have the Shredder in play. I'm fine. I'll just, they want to hold that rejection for a bridge. So I should be able to freely play this. If they don't want it, it's fine. It's a rejection gun. If they do, I'm going to draw a lantern anyway. So then all I need is a third land, and I have bridge. They play that, and that lets me know that they are not keeping rejection mana up. Which is interesting, because I have a lock, and if I have a land, I can just play bridge if I have it in hand. So I guess, and they know that I discarded a rejection, so they should have thought that maybe I have a bridge in hand. But anyways, now all I need is a third mana, and I can mill myself into it, hopefully. And I'll have a bridge. So yeah, mill myself. There's my third land. And I go ahead and just do it now. Go get my bridge. And that's pretty much game. At best, they can try to use their fetch lands. Still fine. There's so many dead cards now. Because it's a pretty linear deck, Merfolk is. Yeah. I do mill this Curse Catcher because I want to be able to use whir to go grab another mill rock to solidify the lock. Opponent, we talked about it, and yeah, by the math, it's 2x plus 1, where x is the number of mill rocks in play. That's how many cards in a row they have to break the lock. That's not counting the lanterns at all. So they have to have 3 cards in a row in order to break the lock. 3 good cards in a row. And I believe opponent says they have 3 in the deck total. So makes sense. I was like, well, let's make it 5 in a row. So I whir. So now 2x plus 1 is 5. Still, and I have another Shredder on top. I don't want to give my opponent any chance whatsoever, so I go ahead and mill the fetch land, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah. Rejection that. I do let my opponent have that fetch land. I'm like, nah, it's fine. Opponent tries to draw the natural state, and I mill it. And opponent ends up conceding. Yep. Which is understandable. So yeah, blue-green Merfolk.